Hey, welcome back to the episode of the Podcast. I'm your host, Juan. And as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, buddy.
What are you up to? What you doing?
I'm watching Genius Party. What are you doing?
I also watch Genius Party.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about it.
We should talk about it, yeah.
This episode? You want to?
No, next week.
Just change the topic?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something completely different, but instead we're going to talk about Genius Party.
I figure why not? We both watched it.
Let's do it.
I didn't watch what we were supposed to watch, so.
I didn't either, so.
What? That's just how it worked. We're just like, hey, what'd you watch this week? You watched the new My Hero? Yeah, let's just talk about
What are
that for this
the
episode.
odds if you're like, oh, you watched the same thing I watched?
Holy shit. Wait, you watched it? Yeah, dude.
You read all of Gantz this week?
I read all of Gantz this week. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I did.
You read all of it?
All of it.
This week?
Yes.
Wow.
In 3 days, actually.
That's impressive.
Well, to be fair, humble, I don't want to brag or nothing. I don't want to flex on
brag. I would like you to flex on me.
So I think the Gantz is like a little over 300 chapters, below 400, like almost 400, I think. And I remember reading it back in the day, and I think I got to like chapter 60, and I was like, I don't care anymore. And then a new series popped up at Gantz E, and I was like, oh, cool. And it's about like the same thing, but in the Atsuko period. I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to read this. And I go,
okay, yeah.
And I go, but I didn't finish the last one. Like maybe I should finish the last one. I go, nah, it's not worth it. And then I go, all right, I'll do it. Why not? But I skipped all the chapters I'd already read because I remember it pretty well. Nothing really happens. Just people die that don't matter. And I was like, cool, let's read all of this. Man, that shit was fucking wild. And like not always like in a good way.
Yeah, no. Would you recommend it to people?
No, not to like normal people. No,
not to normal people. What kind of a person would you recommend it to?
Like if you're a real weeb trash, like if you like mechs, if you like violence, if you're okay with nudity, because there's a lot of naked parts.
Yeah.
Almost every like chapter cover is just some scantily clad girl with her boobs out wearing the Gantz outfit. Yeah. Which I'm not about. I want to see more dicks. More dicks in the media.
Yeah, more donks in Japan.
Yeah, bro. They'd be too small. Got him.
That was...
Actually, I think I saw one dick. I saw 3 dicks. Here it is. Hear me out. Should I spoil Gantz? Here, I'm going to spoil Gantz. By the end, this is going to sound made up. One of the last arcs is the people fighting like an alien invasion. And these aliens are like giants, like huge. And they have like 4 eyes. And they kind of look like humans meet like maybe like horses or whatever. At one point, like there's a scene where like they're having sex. And it has, the males have 3 penises.
All right. So it's good.
It's great. Yeah. Okay. It's for everyone.
Everyone read Gantz.
No, there was a lot of really convoluted stuff. There's like...
Name one other thing.
I was talking to Lester Kyle about this because he really likes it. And I was like, hey, man. I remember texting like, hey, man. So the vampires that got introduced in like chapter like 80, does that ever come back? And he goes
like, yeah, I really like it.
And he goes, no, not really. I was like, cool. And I go, why are there vampires in this? He goes, it doesn't really make sense. Doesn't really matter. There's also like 2 characters that have like ESP and like can blow people's brains up and their hearts. It's never really explained. Yeah, man, it's wild.
Man, I remember exactly where I was in my life when I tried watching Gantz.
Yeah, where were you?
So I was living with Kyle and his grandma. And,
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Grandma was like, hey, come down. I got a good show for you guys. Sit down.
And I was looking for some hot new anime. Sword Art Online was hot and new. Yeah. So I was checking that out at the time. And I got a bunch of other things on my list that I downloaded, like the first episode of everything at once to shotgun shows and see which ones I want to continue with. Yeah. And Gantz, watched the first episode of that. And I'm like, all right, this is a little bit different. Looks strange. Don't really know.
It's kind of old.
Yeah, it's old, but it was one of the first anime that I had seen where it was like heavily focusing on the 3D animation. Yeah. Because there's just a big fucking black ball and it's like kind of weird in 3D in this room. And I remember the floors warping and I was like, and that character's dead and that character's dead. And there's a lot of nudity in the first episode. A lot of nudity, yeah. I essentially just felt like this is trying to be too hardcore. But if I got to a point where this was happening, I would probably be really into it. But I don't like starting there. Yeah. I think that's kind of where I was at when I watched it. So I'm like, it's too much for me, man. It's too much. But I didn't know how to vocalize it at the time because I was like 10 years old.
So you just started yelling.
Yeah.
I need an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle's grandma, get in here, help me.
Yeah, it was a wild, weird little time, man.
Yeah. So I watched like Gaunt's like the anime way before I read the manga. It just kind of, I don't know. It must have been on some. Maybe it was like on demand, you know, like his Xfinity used to be called something else. He's just called Comcast, right? Like before it was like Xfinity.
Yeah.
I think it was on demand and it was like, they say it's 2 seasons. I think it's like 24 episodes and season 2 is like 4 episodes long or something like that. Huh. And I remember watching it and being like, oh, this is really fucking hardcore. There's like a lot of violence. There's nudity. And I was also probably like, 14, 15. I was like, this is the best. This is so cool. And then it got really like, I mean, it was already convoluted. It got more convoluted by the end. And then I was like, it just kind of ends on a weird, like, does he live? Does he not live? Kind of cliffhanger thing. And I was like, huh, that's kind of, I felt like this is a shitty ending. And I was like, whatever. And I didn't think about it till years later when I met like Lesser Kyle. And he was telling me about it. And I go, yeah, man. I was explaining to him how I was upset or not upset, just not satisfied with the way it ended. He goes like, oh yeah. So for the anime, they didn't have like more material, so they just kind of went their own way. So like at one point, that stuff just never even happens in the manga. He goes the manga goes way longer, and I was like, oh really? So that's when I tried reading it the first time. I was like, oh, I'm kind of over it.
But why did it have like no material at the time still get made, even though it was so fucking experimental?
I don't know.
That's crazy because there's so much anime out there that gets made. And it has this huge following behind it. And that's why it's made. Like or it's Fate. Like an original concept or something like that. Did I tell you about Fate recently? Fate, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I texted you about it. I was like, what the fuck? For those of you that do want to know, Fate started out as an erotic visual novel. All right.
Moving on.
But with Gantz, I feel like it was really edgy and it wasn't done and it didn't have a huge manga following.
Yeah. But it got one. I think it got a massive following.
Yeah. So probably solely because it had an anime. People were like, what is this? What the fuck? And then they checked everything out.
Probably. Well, I know that the manga finished and then they did like Gaunt's like G, which is like about a different group of people. It's a lot shorter. I read that.
Gaunt's Zero.
Yeah. So Gaunt's, it's actually it's not a zero because it's it's for Osaka. There's an Osaka arc in the manga, and they made that into like a 3D animated movie. It actually looks really good. It's actually very well done.
Cool.
It's not like it's way complicated. It's just because it's like in one of the most like absurd hardcore like arcs in the entire manga. So like if you I watched it. We talked about it with Jordan when I had him, I think, on for the episode or something. And I remember sitting down with him and like trying to like to decipher what was going on. And I was like, dude, this is like the worst movie to start with because I am so confused as to what's going on. And then they also made 2 live action movies. But this is before Gaunt's Zero. Yeah. So there's like a lot of stuff out there for this like thing. And I know people like it. And like I said, the new manga started up and I don't know how good it's going to be, but I do like the art style because it's more recent. Like it's like, so it looks clean. So I'm excited to read that. Again, I wouldn't recommend the anime or like manga to anybody unless like unless you really want it. Like check it out. It's not for everybody. I
guess if any of the things that we talked about sound like they could be for you, check it out. It's a survival anime that apparently turns into a whole fucking thing.
It's massive. Yeah, I know. At one point, like the survival anime element to it ends, and I hit up Kyle, go like, yo, dude, is it over? Like there's still like 100 chapters left. And he goes like, oh yeah, the last arc takes a long time. And I go, oh Jesus Christ. I'm like sitting there. And I like every time I thought it was over, it's like, nah, you're watching Gantz, bro. On W Kids, you know. Yeah. Was it 4 Kids TV or whatever?
That's it.
Yeah. Fox Box, that was the shit.
Throwback for those of you that are our same age.
That watched cable television, the Saturday morning cartoons on Channel 10. Was yours Channel 10?
You know, there was Fox 30. Channel 10 was ABC for me.
Fox 10, Channel 10 was the WB.
WB was also 10, but you had to have cable.
Did I have cable? I had the bunny ears, though.
Oh, no, hang on. You had to have cable at some point, and then 10 was ABC, and WB was like 7, but then at some point they swapped. I think it depends on what side of town or what town you're in or something.
Hold the phone. Here's the big issue. Channel 2 was Fox.
Channel 2 was Fox.
Local, like the local Fox.
Like some... My mom didn't have cable.
Neither did we, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So at my dad's, I was living a completely different life where I just didn't know what the fuck any channel was.
You had DirecTV, you had Dish, you had like all the channels.
Yeah, I wound up getting Dish or satellite or TiVo. I got TiVo. Fucking... Bro,
you're a real rags to riches kind of guy.
Yeah, it's totally different lives. But then at my mom's, I remember like suddenly we couldn't find any of the channels.
It all
and we
changed.
had to get we had to get new antenna and stuff. And like,
no, check it out. So from my knowledge, this is what I'm recalling now. On Channel 2, and that's on Saturday mornings, they would play like Digimon Frontier, Fighting Foodons, this kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And then also at the same time, Channel 10 would play like Sonic X, Kirby, fucking Fully Loaded or whatever. What was it called?
Right back at you.
Yeah.
Herbie is what you're thinking of.
The anime Herbie.
Yeah.
So I think it was two competing things. I think there's two channels
I thought that both of those that you just said
were on Fox.
Also on Fox. I'm pretty sure that they were.
I don't fucking know. You know what?
And like,
we need a time machine. I don't know what's going on.
WV had like Pokemon.
And WB,
for sure.
WB had that weird spin-off of the Looney Tunes, but they were action-packed. Remember that?
No? Action-packed Looney Tunes?
Yeah, they were like super like...
I like this episode, by the way, that we're talking about right now. I'm like, how did we get here?
We were talking about Gauntz.
I know, but...
yeah, it was like Looney Tunes, but they were like super hardcore. And like Bugs Bunny had like samurai swords, and they were like superheroes. What was it called? It was called like Looney Tunes Fully Loaded or something like that.
You can't just add Fully Loaded onto everything.
No, but look it up. It was like they had like a different art style, and they were supposed to be kind of like rebranded as like, action stars and action heroes or whatever.
Yeah.
Beware the Batman was on that, I think. What else did they have?
Was it there are a lot of Looney Tunes things that I wasn't quite aware of.
You ever see Baby Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
Oh, that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bugs, why are you being such a fucking bitch? And
I hated Baby Looney Tunes because it wasn't Tiny Toon Adventures.
Tiny Toon's way better.
Yeah, Tiny Toon Adventures is dope.
Yeah.
I also really like Tasmania, but whatever.
Did you find it
yet? So I'm not 100% sure, but there's Lunatics Unleashed.
That's it, I think. Let me see.
There's not a great picture of it, but it's right in the middle of this bundle of pictures.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Lunatics Unleashed?
Dude, it was so fucking metal. It was
when
like
you say
worst.
like samurais, and I'm looking at space shit.
Well, he had like a sword or whatever, and like he was like a ninja guy, and one of them had blasters. I think. Okay, so here's the squad. Here we go. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, fucking Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, Tasmanian Devil, Lola Bunny, and maybe they added like another girl. Tweety was there. There's a lot of them. Okay.
I think I saw whoever this sleek looking yellow and black kind of bunny thing. Mm-hmm. This fucker.
Yeah,
that guy?
That's Bugs Bunny.
That's Bugs?
That's Bugs Bunny.
Pretty sure he was in some Newgrounds hentai.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was my favorite Newgrounds hentai.
I'm like, I've seen this somewhere, and it looks like that same level of like high quality people are like, yeah, this is great. I'm going to... It was Blaming It was bad on Newgrounds. What's the good one?
I don't know. Oh, Blaming It. Oh my god,
dude! Let's just go back,
bro. Blame. I didn't blame a lot of things.
Yeah, I always felt bad blaming stuff unless it was like a real fucking shitty thing. Yeah. And it's like something that I could make. I'm like, blam that shit every time. I blamed so much shit that was like the same level that I could make when I was 12 or 13.
Oh, bro, some of my favorite stuff on Newgrounds. You ever see the Tankmen?
Yeah, Tankman's great.
They're so good.
Iconic.
Sometimes I still go back and watch them.
Damn. That's good.
It's hard to find them.
They just had good voices, too.
They did. Yeah, they were really good voice actors. I don't know, man. What are we doing? Genius Party. We're talking about this.
I feel like this is very appropriate for Genius Party, though. Like the way that
you have to have a high level of intellect to understand what we're talking about. That's not where I was
at all.
Yeah, you have to be on our level.
You don't. You could be better than us. You could be worse than us. But you're with us now, and we're all together.
What you been up to, man?
Just hanging out on Newgrounds, mostly blaming shit.
Have you ever gone to Newgrounds? Is it still up?
I don't remember the last time I went to Newgrounds, but I remember that I was looking for Bitey of Brackenwood.
Oh, Bitey was the shit.
Yeah.
I didn't, how did I say this? He had an online course for VFX.
Okay.
With, what was it called? It was called, it was like Adobe's animation before it was called Adobe Animate. It was called something, it was Flash. It was Flash animation, right? Because everything was done with Flash.
Yeah, everything's Flash.
And he did this thing where like, you bought the course and he showed you how he like created like bubbles and fires and lightning and like, which is like a lot of cool stuff, you know? And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll take it. And I think it cost you like $17-20. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
That's not bad.
And I was like, I can't wait to like, work on it. And then I started going to, I don't know, school, college, whatever. But the thing was, I remember Bitey being very clear and be like, hey, once you buy this thing, these courses are yours forever. So I was like, the other day I was like going through my favorited posts, like posts or whatever, like bookmark shit on my company. I was like, oh, cool, Bitey's Castle, whatever, because that was the name of his website. I was like,
Bitey's Castle,
I was like, I'll go check it out. And I was like, oh, that's right, I got the course. Oh, I can watch those now. I don't have access to them. That fucker lied to me.
Damn.
He's working on, what were we talking about? He worked on some Bob's Burger stuff.
Oh, really? That's cool.
He did, to be fair, he did make a pretty good book about how to use Toon Boom, because he started using Toon Boom.
Yeah, Toon Boom got really big back in like 2006.
Yeah, so he made one of the first like, hey, this is how I use Toon Boom, and I bought it, and I was like, this, and it's a really good book. But yeah, I don't think he does Flash anymore. I don't think anybody does.
No, Flash doesn't exist.
Yeah,
they got rid of it.
I think that now it's called it's called Adobe Animate.
There isn't really a home for animation on the internet.
Yeah,
there's Dailymotion. I think that's pretty much. Please let me know if there is something else out there, because I like to check it out. YouTube's just not a great home for that.
It's not a viable like a way to make money, right? We talked about this in the past.
Yeah,
it takes too much time to make an animation and then drop it.
And not only that, there's no way for you to see it. Like Newgrounds, you go there and you know it's animation. And then you get to see the best of the best, or you could see like the worst of the worst, and you get to curate what your viewing experience is. For YouTube, it's really hard to find animation and to find different animators, and it depends on how frequently they post things. That's why a lot of popular meme YouTube pages, even though they're really short and stuff, which isn't a great format to get popular, sometimes it does get popular. And because of that, it just, if you're putting out an 8-second animation every day, you're bound to get more views than if you put out like a 6-minute one
that took you
as an unknown person.
Yeah, months to make.
Yeah.
Because people go, cool, whatever, it's too long, I don't care.
It just doesn't get you any views either. It encourages different kinds of habits for animation. Anyways, we don't have a place that's like Newgrounds anymore. I think Dailymotion is the closest that we have, which still is not
as good.
Yeah, no. Vimeo. I don't know if people post animations to Vimeo.
I know that like I've been told by a lot of people like in the industry that like put our demo reels on Vimeo, it just looks a lot better than being on YouTube. So a lot of animators have their demo reels on Vimeo, but they don't have like, this is this animated short I made or whatever, Yeah. Again, because it's not like a viable way to make money. It just takes too much time for you to drop this 3-minute thing that took you months or years, and then you go, cool, I got 100 views or whatever, and as opposed to dropping like an 8-second animation of like Batman eating like a fucking hot dog, which by the way is really good.
Fantastic. Hot dog eating a Batman's also good. All of the versions of that are great.
Whoa.
So
when was the last time you were on Newgrounds?
It was a little while ago when I was trying to find Bitey of Brackenwood and Merry Melody, probably a couple of years ago. Just to look at it and be like, phew.
That guy was actually making a Bitey game.
Was he?
An RPG. And then it fell through. That was a real bummer. The guy he was working with, I guess, fucked him over somehow, which is a bummer. I would have played that game.
Yeah, Newgrounds had a lot of games on it too. They had like a lot of good original stuff that was made for Newgrounds. Yeah, there was that too.
I dated a lot of Naruto characters.
Before games would go on like Addicting Games and stuff, they would go on Newgrounds, and then suddenly you would be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play the Classroom on Addicting Games and Cool Math Games and whatever the hell else there was.
Yeah, I used to play Madness. You ever play Madness?
Yeah, of course.
It was very violent.
Because there were animations.
That were really good.
Yeah, really good.
I wonder what happened to that guy.
I don't know.
His name was like Skittles or something like that. Something like that.
There's like Edward Firth and people. Of course, there's Ego Raptor and Rubber Ross.
Yeah, but he's trash. We don't talk about him anymore.
Okay, fine.
He's gone nowhere.
I'm just saying his animation.
The Instant Ramen podcast stands on Ego Raptors that he's trash. Right, Trip? Right.
Yes.
Now we like
that's our hard stance.
We like him, right? Kind of.
Yeah, I like Aaron.
I like his animations a lot.
I think he's a pretty cool guy. I don't know him clearly. I don't know his business practices or anything.
He's behind the door, so let me just let him in.
Yeah, oh, wow. A lot of what I see him do is just try to spread positivity and stuff, even if he's not the most positive person all the time. I think that his goal with the channel and with everything that he's made is to make people laugh, which I think is...
That's good.
Yeah, I think that that's positive.
I like him more than I like the other guy.
Danny?
Yeah, I think
that they're just different kinds of people.
I can't stand him.
Yeah.
His fucking toe thumbs. It just
I think it's just because you watch 10 Minute Power Hour and that's it.
Can't stand him. No, I've seen his. He's the Ninja Sex Party guy, right?
Like, yeah, but I mean, like, as far as everything that he has out there.
I gave him a fair shake.
It's Charity Saturdays. That's a whole thing.
Don't give a fuck. The stance of the Instant Ramen podcast is like what you like, but shut up.
What's your favorite animation on Newgrounds?
On Newgrounds?
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked that Ego Raptor Pokemon for a long time. Yeah. That was a really good one. I did watch a lot of Bitey's Castles. Tankmen were really good too. Fuck, what's the... I don't know, man. I can't think of... I watched a lot of Madness.
Yeah.
And it wasn't... I watched a lot of stick figure fights too. Is that where I saw... Is it stick figure versus the animator? Remember that one?
Yeah, that's where I first watched it. Yeah, and it's still going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if... maybe it ended. They might have just had the finale within the last few months or something like that.
He did a bunch. He did I remember seeing 2 and 3 and 4.
Well, because stick figure fights was a huge fucking thing. It was everyone could do it, so people would have different styles.
And then some people got
so
really
this was
good
the
at
first
it.
Meta version of it, where they're we're aware that everyone does it, and this time it's new. We're doing something different.
Man, it's really hard. I'm trying to think of an animation I really like.
Well, I'll let you buffer for a minute. I have 2 favorites, and I ultimately have one favorite animation, but he never made anything else that I knew or liked. So there was only one thing, but it was Merry Melody. I fucking loved it.
What was
it was
that?
a really freaky, this girl kind of wakes up. Everything's very grim. It looks dark and kind of eerie. And she gets a phone call. She talks kind of about her boyfriend for a minute, and she's having this conversation. It's a little bit weird and uncomfortable, and she knows something's wrong. And she goes outside, and she sees that the town, the suburbs or whatever, are totally different. There's a giant fucking hole in the middle of the street that just splits across a large area. It's in a very surreal, kind of tumultuous, eerie, Tim Burton-y kind of... I'm only saying that to give you that
idea.
It is kind of creepy looking.
This is all Flash though, yeah?
Yeah. Thing. And then a rabbit with a little jacket and stuff comes by, but the rabbit looks very realistic if it went if it got possessed by a devil or something, and it was the size of a person, and it's going along, and she's like, hey, what's going on? And maybe it was on the phone with him too. I just remember him being tick tock, melody. And she was all right, cool. And then it was to be continued. And I'm that was fucking creepy. And I want to see more of this world. And I want to know what's going on. And
that sounds a little familiar.
I remember every part of it just being I want to know more about this world. I want to know more about these characters. And it was only 6 minutes long. And then it was done. And he went on to work on Madagascar.
That fucker sold out.
Yeah, so then I never saw any other part, but I would look it up all the time. But then my favorite animator on there, Children Are Scary. Those were my favorite animations. It was it was always different narrators, but they would narrate over this story, and it would be these little kids with freaky black eyes with a little bit of white in them. And the stories would always kind of have demons or magic shit involved. And they were just a bunch of different ones, but the one that I remember liking the most, I think I liked it the most. I just remember it the most, so I assume I did. Is this one about this little girl who she grew up in a like mansion, and her parents had the maids and butlers and stuff take care of her because they were so busy with other things and always hosting parties and doing that kind of thing, right? So then she felt like she didn't have a friend, so she wished upon a shooting star for a friend, and she wound up making one, and it was this little like demon thing, and he was like really nice and would encourage her to do different things and just kind of have fun. But then the maids tried to keep them away essentially because they just thought it was a doll or something like that. Split them apart. And after like time and time again, she like started getting attitude problems, and she started screaming and crying, and it like all of her emotions were flowing into the demon, and it got bigger and bigger, and it like destroys everything, but it was still her friend.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's like all narrated, so you're not hearing it. It's just kind of a creepy song with really good animation. And you just see her like screaming really fiercely. Very weird character designs. I liked the whole thing a lot because it felt like it couldn't be done live action, which ever since I was a kid, that's kind of been why I liked animation so much, is that they were able to do these things that were more believable because they were in like special styles. They were in specific kinds of animation, and you already suspend your disbelief. So they're able to do a lot more. Whereas if you do like a live action thing and you start doing weird magic shit, you really have to make that work. Yeah. Otherwise, it might be terrible, which is why a lot of the live action adaptations of anime wind up being so bad.
In trash, yeah.
So those are my two favorite for different reasons.
I think I don't remember his name, but I remember he had a series where whoever this animator was, he had multiple videos, and he would like make parodies of these like superhero characters, like real like Marvel characters.
Yeah,
and he would put them in scenarios and stuff. They would talk, and the dialogue in the story is pretty good. What I really liked the way he did like the animations was he did like a Ramen kind of vibes of it. They didn't have arms,
yeah.
So the hands kind of like Madness, where like his hands would just kind of float. And I remember when I first saw it, like, this guy's so fucking lazy. I was like, no, that's pretty smart of him. Like, he saves a lot of time not having to do like elbows and like biceps, triceps, like, you know, fucking forearms. And I was like, and because he's like doing such a good job of it, like it made me, I could like. I didn't need the hands or arms or whatever. I remember really enjoying that as like a stylistic thing. They were really simple. They weren't ever something too crazy. And then I think Baidi's. I watched a lot of Baidi's. You know, the Last of the Dash
man,
Kid.
the animation was so good.
But I think my favorite one of his, because he has like, I think there's like 3 of them. But there's one where like I vividly remember like these like bubbles coming out of the ground or whatever, or the water. I think he either like swims in them or eats them or something. I don't know, man. They're just fucking great.
Well, the first one was him peeing in the river and then pissing off some like monster downstream.
Yeah. Then there's another one where he's like fucking with a little
fluffy things.
Yeah. Those are pretty good. That was pretty good too. Yeah.
It's really weird.
There's one where he's running really fast too.
Where he's just dashing through these meadows and stuff.
Yeah.
So what I really liked about this is that you and I didn't know each other until high school, and then we barely knew each other.
Yeah.
And somehow we both had this experience with animation, which kind of led us down like this whole different path, and different schools, different lives, different everything. But we still have these shared experiences of like Newgrounds.
It's all because of Gaunt's.
Not many people. Yeah, it's all because of Gaunt's, which is how we got here. But yeah, I appreciate how we come from such different backgrounds, but we had some similar experiences growing up, and hey, that's how we're here.
I don't want to make things weird, you know, but yeah, you know, like I'm a white guy, you're African American, you know, it's great.
Actually, so not anything about that particularly, but I did watch Horse Girl last night.
What'd you watch?
Horse Girl?
Horse Girl.
Yeah, which you should watch.
Sounds like you're making something up.
I'm not. It's a Duplass brother movie on Netflix starring Allison Brie. Anyways, there's a whole thing. The movie's really authentic, right? Everything feels like pretty genuine. So they're having a conversation. Maybe it's in the beginning of the movie. Maybe it's a little bit after that. Maybe it's like 10 minutes in. But she's at work, and she works at this little like craft store, fabric shop type place. And she's with her coworker who is a bit older than her. It's Molly Shannon. Do you know who she is?
No, it's not familiar,
Molly Shannon's great. Anyways, they're having a conversation about like testing for your heritage and doing like those DNA, like 23andMe. Yeah. But in that, it's something else different in the movie. Anyways, she's talking about how she did this test, the older lady of the two, and how she's like, yeah, so, we were talking about my heritage and, turns out that I'm like 10% Welsh, like mostly this. She's going over like her European history and she's like, but guess what the last 1% is? She's like, I don't know. What is it? And she's like, I'm 1% Senegal. And she's like, oh, wow. And like, do you know where that is? Nope. It felt like such a work conversation, right? She's like, yeah, it's from Africa. I'm 1% African. It's just like fucking white people, dude. White people with that fucking 1% Africa shit.
Would you ever do the thing where you find out what DNA thing you are? Oh, we talked about this. You wouldn't. We talked about this during fucking dinner.
Did we talk about this on the podcast ever?
No, you don't care. Yeah,
I completely don't care because as a fucking white American, I feel like
you're just better than everybody.
No, I feel like it's just a shit ton of Europe and maybe other places. But does that make me a different person knowing that?
I don't think so.
No, not at all. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. So I'm just spending money on some shit so I could be like, yeah, specifically, I'm white.
I think it's also like a big thing for you because like on either side of your families, like your mom's or dad's side, like, do you like have this like heritage thing where like, hey man, we're Welsh, so we do this thing. You like that's not a thing that you guys really do.
I feel like Americans kind of homogenized and turned into their own people over time. And for me, I'm just like, I fucking watch anime and play video games. Like, who gives a shit what my history is?
Very true. Well, the reason it came up was because Trip has like squinty eyes.
Yeah.
Like, sure. And I was like, maybe he's like a little Asian or something, Maybe. And then I was like, are you? And you go, I don't fucking know. And I remember
we'll never fucking know.
Can you find out? And you go, no, I don't fucking care. I was like, this asshole.
Man, I just don't care. If I did care, I would for sure know by now.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't fucking care either. Like people say what I am, like, well, I'm Mexican. And they go, yeah, but what is that? I was like, I don't fucking know. Combination of a bunch of stuff. Don't fucking matter though.
Yeah, man. I'm just white. That's like all I say.
Yeah, you're white.
It's all that matters.
It's okay. And we both liked, fucking W Kids, 4 Kids TV, Foxbox.
Hell yeah.
Channel 10, Channel 2,
there
fucking Gaunts, Bitey's Castles. We did it all. That's the episode, boys.
Yeah. Also, special shout outs to like Tomorrow's Nobodies. Chase from Tomorrow's Nobodies went on to do like Cyanide and Happiness animation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Everyone's seen Cyanide and Happiness animations. Yeah. He went on to do that, which is fucking cool. I really like Chase. He's cool. Also, Super Flash Bros. I don't know what they're doing, but to me, they were like the height of comedy animation story stuff.
What'd they do?
It didn't look that great. I don't know. They just did some video game shit, so you didn't care.
Didn't care. Don't care.
That's why there's Super Flash Bros.
Still don't
it's like
care.
Smash Bros.
No, I don't. Don't fucking care.
They were British.
I was gonna ask you like
Maddox.
I was gonna ask you what you've been watching for animes because we've been talking a lot about other stuff that don't really partake to animes.
Animation's pretty much anime.
Kind of. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much, more or less. I remember there was a Love Hina. Love Hina was a very popular dating sim on the Newgrounds website, which also is an anime. So.
I remember playing a dating simulator because they had games on the thing.
Yeah,
I remember playing it and being like, "What's the point of this game?" And I didn't really get it because I didn't know what it was. And
I was just
like,
kind of doing it.
I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Cool." Now I'm friends with her, and and I go, "Oh, this is a sex game. I don't want to play this anymore." So I didn't. I stopped. After I nailed all of them, there we go,
man. You gotta wait for that dial-up to kick in so you get the next game downloaded.
There was always the idea that like there's a way to have you have all the girls fall in love with you. And I'm like, no, you can't. It's physically impossible, bro. Because when you do this, when you say this one thing, it makes her love you more, but she loves you less. And then you say this, and it's not worth it. Pick your favorite. Make her your one.
Asteroid in Love's pretty cute. Now that you're asking. Asteroid in Love, it's just a good slice of life, It's got these cute girls doing cute things. I got nothing special to say about it, but I find a lot of charm in it, and it looks good, so I think it's Doga Kobo. Feels Doga Kobo-y. We'll see when I look it up at some point. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of fun, and then Beaufry, I was telling you this on Friday. Beaufry, I think, is like my favorite to watch of the season. I don't think it's the best anime because I really like Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken. And when each thing happens in that show, I'm like, oh, fuck, they just do this so fucking good. Mm-hmm. And I'm always like gung-ho about seeing what the fuck's gonna happen in this episode of Eizouken. But with Bofuri, the show about the girl who maxes out her defense in an MMO, it just feels so fucking MMO-y in all of the best ways to reward like exploring and do these special little events and to get special creatures and gear and prizes and whatnot. It feels fun for me to see somebody else have a fun time with it. Even though it's a fake character in a TV show, it's charming.
You were saying that some people were like kind of like talking about how the game was broken, and you know, and you're like, yeah, that's not the point. Yeah,
fucking anime. Yeah, no shit. The game's broken. Also, it shows like this is the most annoying part of the show for me is that they're trying to put in this extra plot point of like the developers are watching what she does because she's done some weird shit
that she's not supposed to be doing. Yeah,
essentially, she's like she got this special piece of gear in the game. That the developers didn't even think to balance well. So she's in a PvP match and she's just eating everyone. She's not moving because she's too slow and they're just coming up to try to attack her. She takes no damage. She falls on them with her shield, which has a special attack that just fucking eats them. So they didn't expect anyone to use that special attack to just fucking eat people. Mm-hmm. They thought they would use it to stop spells and shit that are coming at you, right? So they had to change that for her. And they're like, oh man, she's doing this. We got to keep an eye on her. You know, that kind of shit.
Do they actually like, you know, do patches and fix her?
Yeah. Okay, so they're like fixing the game as it's going on because this character's doing weird shit. But I'm like, stop making it so other people don't have fun. Like, she's doing some cool shit that you fucked up. I get so mad about that shit.
I like how you're so obsessed over these fake people fixing this dumb girl's game. And
Look,
you're like, hey man, why are you ruining her fun? What's the name of that game that was super broken that you guys played for
Anthem?
a bit? Yeah, you're like, yeah, dude, Anthem, it's fucking the worst game ever.
Yeah,
but it's so
broken
great.
and hella fun. Also, in news today, BioWare, the company that made it, put out like a big old blog thing today that was like, hey man, so we fucked up. We made a pretty shitty game. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have released it. We're going to fix it.
Watch Bofuri.
Yeah, watch Bofuri. It's great. But no, man, there's just something that has so much charm with Bofuri. The way that she uses her abilities, like she can't walk. She's hella slow because she doesn't have any agility or anything like that. Dexterity, nothing. She's put it all in defense, which makes her hella slow. So now she has a new attack that she can use to like block attacks that are coming in for other people in her party. Mm-hmm. So she just uses that on her super fast friend who's running so she can like close the gap, which other people were complaining about the show because they're like, that's overpowered that she could use this and like always go in and block attacks. But it's because her character is a fucking mess where it's just defense that it doesn't work out, because it turns out that she takes no damage from things, even though she has a damage multiplier. But like each time she does that, the damage multiplier is like, okay, you take twice as much damage from this. You take 4 times as much damage. And it goes up to like 16 or something like that. So you would never do that in a game, but for her, 0 times 16 is fine.
Yeah, because it's still 0.
Yeah. So instead of waiting for that like little timer to reset, she's just fucking going for it. And I love it. She doesn't know how to play games, but she's able to be like, oh, I could do weird shit with this. And just does the weird shit. Like she finds out, spoilers, I guess. She finds out that she can make her, like as rewards, she can make her turtle companion giant. She's been like training it and letting it kill stuff while she just hangs out. She makes it giant. So she climbs on top of it. She's riding it. And then she's able to use like a telekinesis power with it to lift it off of the ground and fly with it, because they're bonded to each other, and she could lift any creature as long as it doesn't resist. And since they're bonded, it doesn't resist. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't explain any of this shit in the show. It's just in the light novel. Anyway, she uses that and she just fucking acid rains a whole herd of buffalo. Yeah. She's like, yo, let me try something. Acid rain. It just fucking massacres. Which brings me into My Hero Academia. They're doing this whole arc where they're trying to resolve the people that didn't pass this whole hero exam type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't get their hero license.
They didn't get their hero's license. So now they're doing like a backup second test.
What do they call it? They call it like a Yeah, it's like they're going to like tutoring and stuff, and they have to get their new license or whatever. It's not going to be that long. It'll be
They're
a couple
getting like special training. Anyways, it's over.
Yeah.
But this last episode, they kind of showed off the other characters that we hadn't seen for a while, just doing different things. And it showed the alien acid chick talking to Uraraka, being like, "Hey, we should team up. You can help me levitate, and I can make acid rain." And she's like, "Ugh, that sounds kind of messed up."
Yeah. But that's like buffery stuff.
Yeah. And I like that in the same week those episodes come out. It's fucking great. Other people like it too, clearly. But
I want to say that I don't want to spoil it, but I know that like in the manga, because
they do that.
They do this thing where she has her new, they're
working on their abilities.
Yeah,
and
their
stuff.
special moves. And I think like at one point like the alien chick like covers herself in like
in slime,
in slime, and she's just like he's mowing through shit.
I bet, yeah, because she uses it to blast around and stuff. So sure,
yeah. And I think there's a really good like panel where she's like shaking the slime off of her, and she's just like, "Yeah, I got that idea from Red or Right," and his ultimate defense move, and he's just like, "Oh, gee, thanks,"
It's great, man.
It's really cool,
yeah. But I'm liking where my hero's going with Aoyama talking to Midoriya about how like his body wasn't made for his ability, so he always has to use a special tool, that belt, in order to kind of control it from seeping out or whatever.
Because I think it's like he said that his family has laser beams, right? But none of them have it in their stomach.
Yeah, something like that.
And he gives him a stomach ache. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, and he can't have control over it. So he's like, "Hey, man, I support you because like when you first got here, your body was like breaking and shit when you were working here. So anyways, I totally know what you go through because that's my life too, man." And I really like it because he's being creepy the whole time.
Yeah, the navel laser, right? Like he's like, I know your secret, right? That's
yeah.
He's like keeping at him while he's sleeping and stuff.
It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun little time. I like that we're going back to lighthearted.
The roots.
The roots. But there's still some cool stuff. I just want to see some cool powers, man. That's mostly what I'm in it for now, because it's gotten a little bit too generic for me, or it's gotten to the point where it's like, it feels like nothing is kind of happening. Nothing's being resolved. And it's spending all this time, which is tons of fun when you're like, yeah, I want to see this little tournament. Let's go. That stuff.
Yeah.
But also you're like, the plot's literally going nowhere, and there are all these villains doing goddamn nothing while this tournament's happening. And then they take over the tournament, and you're like, it's fine, I guess. And it goes back to, okay, so yeah, now we're gonna resolve everything and just kind of be calm for a while. Issue.
You forget they're in school. I just want to see them go to school. I want to see them do some club activities,
Yeah, so they're getting to that point where they're gonna do some club activities. That's where the episode ends, and I'm excited.
Nice.
Because in the intro, I'm like, why is it featuring the cool guitar chick so much?
This is her arc, bro. This is all about her.
Yeah, well, I hope it is, because she hasn't been in it yet, and I want to see more of her. That'll be cool. Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Calm down.
I want her to jam.
She jams.
1, 2, 3, let's jam. What else have we been watching? Inspector's all right.
Have you dropped any shows, is my question?
Not yet.
Do you want to?
Oh, wait, yeah, I dropped Pet.
Really?
Which, yeah, and I think we talked about this a week or two ago. It got just messy, I think is the best way to put it.
Not as bad as like, some chick coming into dudes kind of messy. Like, what was that show called?
What?
It was that really weird show where like this girl was like taking, like she was mind fucking guys or whatever.
She was mind fucking guys.
Yeah. She
what was that? You're talking about last season?
Yeah.
Babylon.
Yeah. Is it
okay?
Like messy, like that messy, or like
Babylon? I feel like it had more direction of what it wanted to do, but it just got like too fucking not for me. Like that's not the show that I was looking for, kind of thing. I don't know, but no, Pet. It just decided to focus on the characters, but not actually focus on them. And I stopped caring about it really quickly.
It's okay, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so that's what happened with that. Haven't watched some things that I've been meaning to watch, like Madoka. I'm kind of saving a couple episodes at a time to watch that one, just because it's not that great. I did start watching ReZero, so I watched the first episode of the re-edit. Yeah, because they're airing a re-edit right now. are you a fucking anime watcher or not, dude? What? You looked at me like I was insane. It's airing this season. It's a re-edit of it's the director's cut, essentially.
But you didn't like ReZero.
No, but I'm giving it a shot, and it's the director's cut. And I watched an episode, and I still stand where I stood before. But I'm going to try more.
That's why I'm surprised. First of all, I didn't know it was being broadcast. Okay, so fuck you.
You should.
Because from this context, it makes it sound like you're going back to a show that I know you've told me in the past you didn't like. That's why I was surprised.
Yeah. Still don't like it. But I've watched so much out there that maybe there's something different. But I think I figured it out like really quickly. So Steins Gate has these kind of likable, goofy, weird characters to start out with.
Yeah.
Right?
Super hacker.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah.
It's got all that. But you feel like they have some like really good qualities in them. And then when shit pops off and there's death after death after death, and you just see like our main character focus on improving himself and improving the situation, it's intense. How long do you think it lasted? He went through like 50 to 100 or something.
Oh, you talk about
resets after seeing her die over and over and over, and all of his friends and stuff die.
What was her name? Because you're talking about when he's trying to save his friend, right?
I mean, he's trying to. Well, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil much.
Or we talk about
Steins Gate.
A lot. No, like I think he said like hundreds of times.
Yeah, so it was a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. ReZero, the first episode has him like go through this whole section, and he meets people and he does certain things. Then he gets to the end and he goes to this bar and there's somebody dead on the ground. He's like, what the fuck? And there's somebody else dead. And then he gets killed.
He gets killed, yeah.
Second day, he starts over. He's confused. And that whole first thing, he's being a fucking chump, right? Yeah. He was being a fucking chump his first run through. Second one, he's doing a little bit better. He's still not fantastic or anything. Chumpo, yeah. He's still chumping. And he goes back and he's doing everything in advance a little bit. He's talking to different people and trying to make certain deals. He's trying to get his cell phone traded for more money and try to like make a good deal. And then somebody comes in, swoops in, kills everyone. He dies again. He resets. And then he realizes, I think, one more death. And that, oh, fuck, I have this ability where I'll come back when I die and I have to make shit better. And he starts trying to improve himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was just such a fuck from the beginning. And I feel like I've seen a better, like a more enjoyable to me character and cast of characters right off the bat that I was intrigued in from the first episode, that I wanted to see that. And I love fantasy worlds. I love that fantasy shit. We've talked about it on the show before. So you would think that Steins Gate plus fantasy, I would be fucking into that. But it doesn't have the cast for me, man. They don't hit it right away with those good characters.
I mean, I've only ever seen like the one episode of ReZero. I always said to go back to watch it. Now that it's re-airing, I might as well re-watch it.
Yeah, jump on the train,
watch it for the first time.
We are all aboard.
What was I going to say? Is it ever like... Because in the first episode, he ends up in this fantasy world. I remember him going to like a grocery store or something like that, or like convenience store.
Yeah, he just kind of... It's not...
It just kind of happens, right? It
happens, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I shared this little video on Twitter that I found, where this dude is doing all the different ways that people get isekai'd for tons of different shows. And it's just like reading a book and then suddenly get isekai'd, like Rising the Shield Hero. Or, yeah, in different situations where you die or you almost die or there's like a just sudden teleportation, you get summoned.
What was your favorite one? Or like
I don't know.
The one that you liked, that he did a good job of representing.
I just felt like he did a good job with all of them.
All of them?
If you saw it,
you didn't pick a favorite one?
No.
Okay.
It was like 2 minutes long and it was like 100 different isekais. It was a lot, dude. But it was pretty funny. Anyways, I don't really care about ReZero, and I'm hoping that it makes me care. But I'm not expecting it to, and I'm not going into it expecting to not like it either. I came at it with a totally new, fresh perspective, and I'm like, I just don't like that thing. I just don't like that thing. And I'm like, you know what? I really like all these background characters that aren't featured at all, like all the animal people and stuff. I'm like, they have cool designs. They did a really good job with that. Sucks that they don't have any dialogue. Maybe there are characters that come along later that have really interesting designs, but I don't give a fuck about any of their designs at this point.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm going in hard on the. You got to convince me now.
I think it's fair because I know people fucking love that show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like there is something to love and I'm missing it. And I want to know what it is because the certain things that people love, you don't get that in the first episode. And people say that it does take a little bit for the main character to learn like how to be who he is. And I feel like it's probably impactful. Like, you know, he's just reset after a day, you know, in the first episode. He's going to go through like a couple of months or whatever, and then he's going to get killed and have to do all of that over again and reestablish those same friendships. And that's where that real struggle comes in, where he realizes something else.
Yeah.
And
maybe.
I think that concept is really cool and interesting, but
you don't like it. It's fine.
We'll see.
It's okay, Trip. If you're upset with Trip because he doesn't like the show you like, it's fine. He's been wrong before. He doesn't like Your Lie in April, and he's tried.
I've tried multiple times.
I really like it.
It's not for me, man.
It's not for him. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Not everything is. Not everything's for everyone.
Anything else you're watching?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Haikyuu.
What do you think?
Fantastic.
It's okay.
Yeah. Love it.
It's okay show.
It's great.
Probably
makes me feel great.
Good.
I watch it and I think yes.
Good.
When it's over, I think no.
Until next week.
Yeah. It's really good.
I think is it 2-core?
I think it is 2-core. Also, I really need to get more anime shit on my anime playlist on Spotify because I don't I don't have a lot of the shows that I have been really enjoying over the last few seasons here. Need to get on that shit.
You just got a bunch of
need to hunker down.
Fucking is it Carole and Tuesday?
Yeah, it's mostly Carole. It's like 100% Carole and Tuesday. They're all just round and laundry over and over and over.
It's Carole and Tuesday and then like Liz and the Bluebird.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I wish it was Liz and the Bluebird. It's not on Spotify. I would fucking eat that shit up.
I thought it was on Spotify.
No. That's why my life is so hard. It's on SoundCloud.
Ooh.
I'm not a SoundCloud guy, man. I'm sorry.
We're not SoundCloud rappers.
I'm a spoofy boy.
Yeah. Okay. Is that it?
Probably. I'm trying to think of other stuff, man. I'm not really liking It Invaded as much as I thought I would. I don't know. Third episode.
But you like Inspector?
It's all right. Inspector I like more. But it is getting to the point where I'm like, all right, these characters need to fucking
do something.
Yeah, they need to chill out. Like, main character girl, she's a little bit too like tsundere, which irritates me. Because I think that's fine as a character trait, but not when that's most of your character. It's like she's a very smart girl that has connection with yokai and understands situations really well, and she's tsundere. Those are her two personality traits. I don't know. I feel like I need more of something coming from her, more unique thought, more like
substance,
human personality. I guess. Yeah.
You make you like have a reason to actually care about her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, all right, that's fair.
It's interesting. I still really like the fights and the yokai and stuff like that. It's cool. There was a really creepy looking, like, kind of caterpillar looking thing, but with a giant hairy, like, beast head that came by and was like, please take care of this cat.
And she's like, absolutely.
Yeah, no. It was to the guy. They were trying to be like, yeah, no, now the yokai are trusting him a lot more. And they're just like, cat. They didn't say anything, but they just bring him a cat. And he's like,
and
I guess I have to help this cat.
Oh, he can't save it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It did show some backstory on how he became how he is. And a bunch of people died. And it turns out he has this cool ability. It's not just what we thought of, like, regrowing that body part or whatever. He's immortal.
So when he dies, he comes back a day before.
Yeah, actually.
Like ReZero?
No, but he can see the future at that point. So that was the whole purpose. He ate two different kinds of like monster flesh, yokai flesh. One of them's from a mermaid. Another one's from something else. I can't remember. And when he dies, he can see the future by only like a certain period or something. Maybe just the future that he wants to see. He could read it at that point. So he's like a fortune teller that needs to die. So he's in a fight with this chick, and he gets fucking killed. He was trying to fight, just seeing if he could do it without dying. But then he dies, and he comes back, and he's like, I know what I need to do now. Cool. I need to choke her out. And then he does.
That's an interesting set of powers, yeah.
Yeah, so I like what it's unveiling, but I do want the main character girl to have more personality, and I want him to have more personality too. But they have shown both of their backstories, and their backstories are really good. So I'm hoping that there's more to it. Cool. I think that actually might be everything that I've watched so far.
You're like,
I think so.
The smile you gave me at the end of that was pretty good. You're like,
I'm like, I think I did it.
You did it. You did good.
That was pretty good. I did a really good job.
Good job, man.
I'm very good.
Good. You're the best.
I'm a good boy.
Want to do some news?
You don't want to talk about your anime?
Yeah, man. I watched all of jack shit. I started watching Surviving R. Kelly. That was a hard watch.
I also watched Somali. Was it a hard watch?
The first 2 episodes were pretty brutal. I'm on the 3rd episode. It's just really sad. You know, because I made... Now I feel like a dick.
You are a dick.
I made the mistake of playing Remix to Ignition at the bar.
That is so good.
After the whole Surviving R. Kelly documentary first dropped, or like after it came out or whatever. And I remember being like, I just want to test the waters. And everybody was really cool about it. And then one guy just slams his beer on the table and yells, "Who the fuck played R. Kelly?" And I'm just like, ooh, I just like squished down in my chair. And I was just like, I guess people aren't ready yet, you know?
There's a big argument that people talk about all the time. Do you respect the work or do you respect the artist?
Exactly, yeah.
And like, hey, do you separate them? Because I think you should separate the artist from their work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they put out something fucking incredible, but they're a shitty person.
Yeah, I was trying to, I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, in my head, it's like, I listen to Remix Ignition a lot. That's a good song to just kind of dance to.
Good song.
And then I was like, oh, that's right. He also did, I Believe I Can Fly, which is like so synonymous with, Space Jam, which I watched all the time growing up. I was like, that was a really good song too. And, he does other music that I'm going to go, enjoy it. But he was a really bad person.
I think this is what it comes down to.
Allegedly, because he denied all the claims.
Of course.
But he's a fucking monster.
So this is what it comes down to. I think that you should recognize the good work that somebody puts out, but that they should have repercussions for their actions. So I think that he should be acquitted for all of the accusations that are against him. And that he should have a long time ago, and we shouldn't have gotten much more than those old things that happened before he was like a really shitty person, right? I don't think that he should get a chance to make other amazing things. I think fuck you.
Whoa. Yeah, fuck you, R. Kelly. That is our official stance.
That's our official stance.
That is the Instagram podcast's official stance on R. Kelly. Fuck you.
I also watched Somali and the Forest Spirit, which...
Good pickup.
I don't drop a beat, Keep it going.
Can't miss a thing.
They're back traveling. They had to stop for some cash for a while, so he was working at this little like tavern place.
Has he opened up his eye again?
Yeah.
I like that.
Opens up every once in a while.
Pretty
it's freaky.
Cool.
He reads shit. It's cool. To make sure what's going on. And they met up with a couple of travelers since they're trying to find humans. So are the travelers. And they're like, okay, cool. We'll travel together. And spoiler alert, they think that Somali is a little fucking human and not a demon like she's supposed to be.
It's a secret, guys.
Yeah, so they think that she's a human. So they're like, let's take a risk and travel with these people. And we'll do the thing so that you can live. It's like, oh, okay, so there's something nefarious going on. And it got really dark. One of the characters is coughing up like gross stuff with feathers in it as he's like kind of turning into a bird person monster thing that he's going to die before, he fully turns into a bird or whatever. And they need Somali's human blood to stop that.
Can you just ask for a little bit?
I don't know how much they need.
Just hang out with them, collect a little bit every day.
But the harpy is very gung-ho on killing this little girl. And the guy isn't so much on board for that. But
the guy turning into a bird?
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked.
So it has this kind of darker story going on with that. Which is intriguing. It went a different direction, and I'm a little bit more brought in. But in general, Somali is just a super chill-ass show with some pretty things going on.
Season 40 of Survivor drops today.
Oh, whoa.
And when I mean today, I mean Wednesday when this gets dropped.
Yeah.
If it gets dropped on Wednesday, because last week's episode got dropped early.
Yeah, which is fucking wild, something got slightly changed. So anyways, yeah, we'll see. This is going to be coming out on Wednesday, though.
Yeah,
so.
When season 40, Winners at War, airs, which I will be watching. Tune in.
Hey, you see the new Interspecies Reviewers?
No, because it's no longer on TV.
Well, it's no longer. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But they fucked a bunch of mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Shroom
people?
Yeah,
mushroom. Were they girl shrooms or just like...
Yeah, girl shrooms.
We should watch that.
Yeah, we should.
This show seems like it should be for us. Why don't we like it? Okay, I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do the news.
All right, cool. I'm into the news. So this week in the news, we actually don't have a whole lot to talk about, so we'll just breeze through it. First off, Tower of God. The anime is going to begin broadcasting spring 2020. People fucking love Tower of God. Like, it's apparently going to be like one of the best first seasons is what people are saying.
I don't know what it's about.
Me either. We'll find out. Don't want to spoil anything, but we watch it all. We'll let you guys know next season how we feel about Tower of God. But yeah, man, people are stoked that it's actually becoming an anime, and they're like, this first season's going to be like one of the best first seasons of all time, and the show stays good, but it starts so strong.
I want to make a hard stance on it. I love it.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, you love it.
I love it. Trip hates it. Those are our stances. Next up, we all love our good friends over at the... What? I don't know. I don't trust you.
Over at the Laid Back camp. They're having a good time. They're camping. They're learning about camping. Season 2 is going to premiere in winter 2021.
Good for them.
Yeah, so just another year, and you guys are going to get your cozy little, comfy little...
Cute girls and cute things.
In the mountains. Mm-hmm. You remember, like, a minute ago when you brought up Interspecies Reviewers and
our favorite show
to talk about that really
like,
bad. Yeah. So Tokyo MX TV, it's a channel in Japan. They are pulling it from their broadcasting and replacing it with a fucking boat show.
but like not animated boat show, like a live action boat show.
Yeah, it's like a boat drama. It's all just this giant ass fucking yacht type thing. They're showing it off. Maybe it's not a boat drama. Maybe it's like a check out this cool mansion, but it's a boat.
It's a boat
kind of thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's Love Boat, but they dubbed it in Japanese.
Maybe.
So this kind of took me by surprise just because I was thinking because this is being broadcasted right in Japan. I was like, I figured it'd be a late slate, it'd be like kind of like an Adult Swim kind of hour.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's still going to be airing in Japan. It's still being made. Yeah. But it's not being broadcast on that system anymore.
It's just weird. Like I get, it's the whole Funimation thing over again. We're like, why now are you like, well, we don't agree with it. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have fucking put it there in the first place.
Well, maybe
cowards.
Maybe Passion didn't say how fucking ecchi they were going to make it.
They did. They came out and said
they were going to be like borderline porn.
They came out and said, "Hey, we're making borderline porn." I know the guy. He and I are buds.
Pretty great. Pretty good. Amazon, you know them. Mm-hmm. You love them.
Yeah. Mom and pop shop.
They also aren't going to be airing or streaming Interspecies Reviewers, but that's only because Funimation was the original streamer, and that's where Amazon got their rights through Funimation or whatever in order to stream
like
it.
A partnership,
I don't know how it works, but I know that it's completely related to Funimation.
We've learned that in the world of anime streaming, the word exclusive doesn't mean anything. It doesn't, because
it's bullshit.
It's exclusive for about 2 weeks, and they go, "Hey, it's everywhere. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. So, anyways, we'll find out. You can watch it on Anime Lab if you're in Australia. I think if you aren't in Australia, you could use your VPN to get there and watch it, or you could just sail the 7 seas since you already have a VPN and just get that fucking Interspecies Reviewers. If you really want to, you guys, you can.
Yeah, let us know how it is.
It's great. Watch it every day. Nonstop. That's all that I do. Carole and Tuesday, you may know them. We spoke of them highly earlier a second ago. So Br.XX and Celeina Ann. I don't know. I don't know how to say their names. I'm a fucking joke when it comes to names. Don't worry about it. They're going to perform at South by Southwest next month. So we are definitely going to get some fucking live action Carole and Tuesday
Are
jams.
they the guys that did the voices, like the music for it? Is one of them Carole? Is one of them Tuesday?
I don't know exactly who's going to be doing what, but we will find out. And I hope that we get more live shows from it. Because there are live performances. You could go and look up Carole and Tuesday live and you could actually watch live performance, which is all right. I feel like I jammed a little bit harder in the show and a little bit harder on the Spotify ones than the live versions. But I think it's pretty fucking cool that they are doing these live shows.
That's cool.
That's it. It's just cool. Finally, ReZero. You know ReZero. You love ReZero.
We just talked about it.
Yeah. So there's an OVA called Memory Snow, and it turns out that they have a bonus post-credits type scene that you can watch in a pachinko casino.
No way.
On a pachinko machine.
You're fucking with me, really?
Apparently they do this shit pretty frequently, but yeah, people are upset because ReZero is like a pretty big thing, and you could only watch it in Japanese slot machines.
God, that makes me really happy, because I joke about that all the time. And for it to finally come to fruition is the best thing in the world. I've been vindicated. Ventilated. Titillated.
Yeah, there you go. You've been titillated.
Is that the news?
That's the news, man. You've been titillated.
That's the news. All right, we're gonna talk about this week's topic.
What is it?
It's a movie called Genius Party.
Name all the directors.
There's 7 of them. I couldn't name them all.
It's fine.
Couldn't even name the one that we actually wanted to watch because I forget his name all the time.
True. We're going to get to all of them later. But we decided to watch Genius Party because looking at, well, in the past it was on Netflix. Now it's currently on Amazon. You have to buy it or rent it on Amazon though. So looking at the cover of it, I never was interested. Never did that like preview of the animation type thing either. It just didn't catch my interest. And then I found out that it was a compilation of shorts from different directors, one of them being Masaaki Yuasa, which we are pretty big fans of. Really excited to go see Ride Your Wave whenever we can.
He's our boy.
So we decided to check out Genius Party, and you want to talk about it for a minute? So
just a minute though.
Yeah, okay. Initial thoughts are some of these shorts are way better than others.
Yeah.
Some of these shorts are way worse than others. Yeah. And you don't need to watch any of it.
Yeah, that was like at the end of the day, after when it went to renting it, it was like rent or buy it, right? Rent was like $4, buy was $10, and you were sitting there and you're like, should I buy it? It's only $10. And we go, yeah, why not? It's only $10. Yeah. It's not worth buying for $10.
It's not worth renting.
It's for sure not worth renting for $4. Wait till it's on Netflix again.
Yeah,
because it was very just, I don't know, like I don't even want to say disappointing, because I bet you there's people out there who really enjoyed like some of these animated shorts. Like for me, I feel like they were just some of them were very out there, very outlandish. Some of them were just way too artsy.
One of them was just not worth it.
Oh my gosh.
Like they did a lot of things in there that I'm like, why'd they put so much effort into this?
Like why'd
they do that?
I liked maybe 2 of them. If we're grading them 2 out of 7, that's not a pass. That's that's for sure like a failing grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, there were 7 of them, right?
I don't even know if I liked 2 of them. Like, realistically, I felt better about 2 or 3 of them. I felt better about, like, 4 of them than the other 3. But then I felt better about 2 of those than the other 2. And in general, like, if you were like, which one of these do you want to watch? I would be like, can we do something else?
Yeah. Okay, can we just play fucking Uno or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another way, like another way for me to describe like how, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, none of them scores higher than a 7. None of them.
None of them scores higher than a 7?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I don't think so.
I wouldn't put them past a 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like the one I like the most, it's biased, is because I like the director a lot.
Like, his style and everything was really cool, and I was kind of into it, but it also just didn't. It was like an art piece.
That's what I'm saying.
But
yeah,
it wasn't one that I cared a lot about, but it looked cool.
I mean, that's probably the one I liked the most,
Yeah.
and it still wasn't that good.
There's way better stuff out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. You should, if you want to watch a movie where it's like these like shorts, go watch Memories. Memories is so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so check it out. Genius Party is the name of the first short in all of these. It's directed by Atsuko Fukushima, and this one, it's just like kind of an experimental music video.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job at it, and visually, I think it was one of the best looking ones, personally. I agree, yeah. But that doesn't mean that I liked what I was looking at.
No, it was like a bunch of trippy rocks.
It was so trippy is really the only word for
like trippy rocks and
most of this,
trippy
actually.
Cranes and birds and stuff, and
like this bird person that was eating these rocks, and
then there's like hearts, and people are eating hearts, and at one point somebody like eats a heart and like explodes, and all the other rocks like cheering for him, and it's like you don't really know what's going on, and then at one point you go, Are these synapses?
Yeah, I started realizing as they all started getting like electric, all these tiny little balls that had electricity going between them as it zooms out. I'm like,
is this a brain?
This feels like, yeah, that's like a synapse. These are memories. This is stuff going on.
And guess what?
And
we were in a brain.
Yeah. And then it turns out that it was called Genius Party, which we didn't realize when that was the first one. But I'm like, this would be in this compilation called Genius Party. It's about brains. Okay.
The music was very like tribal-esque, kind of like
it was like tribo techno.
Which I'm not a fan of either. That's personally,
fine. I had a pretty good time with it, but it was not like it was fucking weird.
It was really trippy.
It's not something that I'm very comfortable watching.
Like if you were on acid and watching that, you'd probably get really scared
or really fucking inspired. I don't know, but it was trippy as hell, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
It was really short.
It was very short.
There's not a lot to talk about there.
Thank God it was short, because like some of the other ones were way too fucking long.
Yeah. Next up, Shanghai Dragon, directed by Shoji Kawamori. Those of you who recognize that name know him best from any fucking mech anime or video game. Turns out that this dude is consulted for a lot of robotics types things for different kinds of popular mech shows, like big efforts in Macross. He made the Eureka 7 mechs.
He did Basquash,
which dubbed Basquash,
which I was like joking about. Like, oh, he did that. Look, it's right here.
I'm like, I think he did do that one. And most recently, and something that I know, he has made all of the robot arms in Devil May Cry 5.
Whoa.
So, anyways, Shanghai Dragon, instead of being a music video, was a story. And a pretty successful one that most children in the United States that I know would be familiar with.
What story is this? Harry and the fucking...
What the?
It's a crayon one, right?
Harold and the purple crayon,
right? Yeah, I was hearing you and Sierra make that joke, and I was like, I have a vague remembrance of that. I can remember seeing it like at the library when I would go. I didn't read a lot when I was a kid. And this was like children's book there, right?
Yeah, completely. If you were 8, you might have been a little bit like around the age where you would stop reading it.
Yeah, no, I do remember seeing this. I never read it, but I do know what you're talking about. The joke is a good joke.
Yeah,
good job on your joke.
You're welcome. It's not a joke. It's like an actual comparison.
It is not. It is a joke.
It 100. Okay.
You tell me I'm not doing this with you.
What am I telling you?
You're telling me that this purple crayon book has fucking spaceship aliens coming down and like fighting the fuck out of this snot-nosed brat.
I am telling you that he can make anything that he wants to, and he gets into weird situations.
It's just Chalk Zone then. It's Chalk Zone.
It's essentially Chalk Zone.
Just say it's Chalk Zone.
It's like Chalk Zone, but the look and style of it was very similar to Shanghai Dragon. That's the thing that draws the biggest comparison.
Okay, I mean, I can't argue that. I've never seen the thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, this one had more of a story, like as opposed to the last one, right? It was, it was about a little kid who finds this weird crystal thing and he can draw things that come to life. He makes these nasty looking meatballs, and then shit fucking hits the fan. Like these fucking spaceships starts coming from outer space and
as it does,
start just destroying stuff. Very a la Gaunt's, like if you're watching Gaunt's, it's shit's just getting wrecked. And then these two cool space dudes try to save the little boy. One guy's like a cyborg who is like so fucking anime.
Yeah, he was good though.
Yeah,
best character in any of the shorts.
Oh, absolutely. He would like open his thumb up and a cigar would come out, and then he would like light it
with his entire finger set that are lighters.
Yeah. This one I enjoyed a lot more.
It was just a little mech short. Yeah, it was just a little fighter.
It was just like it was the highlight of it was like cool. You want to see like some crazy chase scene with some mech fights. Cool.
Yeah.
But then like the end bit got really just like out there. Like I did like the part where the little boy, like he draws himself as like a, what do they call it? Like a
Super Sentai type.
Yeah, like a Sentai character. Yeah, like a Moomin, like a rider, like a Power Ranger kind of vibe, you know? And that was fun. And then it got really too wacky at the very end. Like after they
kept going.
Yeah, it kept going after like they defeat the big bad thing with the cannon, which upset the child for some reason. He then like makes a dragon and then he starts drawing just random shit everywhere. By the way, he's not a very good artist. So all the things he draws are like crudely done. I'd be upset if I were in China and the giant fucking teddy bear was just like now part of my home. It was okay. It wasn't great, but yeah.
Yeah. It was like, this one was up there for me.
Yeah, it was up there. Wasn't great though, yeah.
This is one of the top 2. And then, man, we jumped down a bit from that.
Next is is it the guy that, which one's next? Is that the one?
Deathtic 4 by Shinji Kimura.
This is the puppet one, the zombie one, right?
This is the zombie one. Fuck, dude. I don't even know. It's like somebody took Tim Burton and just like started dragging pieces of it places and kind of like smushing it and
this
getting
one's
wacky.
This one's barely animated. Like it looks like when they have like scenes where like a group of monsters are running, it just looks so crudely done. And
they all talk in a monster language, which I do think is cool.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in the last one they talk Chinese, right? And then another one they talk like, I want to say it was like Italian or French or something like that.
Which one?
I don't remember. I'm just saying there were like a bunch of different languages out there.
Yeah, they were getting geniusy.
But I'll tell you something. There were some cool character designs. I'm not gonna lie. Like I liked his
parts of this world looked really cool.
I liked his squad of like monsters he got together. I liked the cops. I thought they were pretty funny.
They were great. There's a little bit like they're police, but you can't really tell that they're police at first. It's just these dopey looking fuckers that are in like a red onesie riding a tricycle. And the tricycle's like a little bit too big for them. Mm-hmm. So instead
their legs have to stretch really far. Yeah,
they have to stretch really far, but it kind of showed like the first one just kicking the pedals forward, which I really liked. Mm-hmm. Just like,
what a nice choice.
Like too much work doing that.
And his nose was like one of those, I don't know what they're called, but they're like these little like cans that you flip over and makes a cow noise.
Yeah, little moo cans, whatever they are. Yeah. Like moo tubes.
Anyways, in this one, the main character boy finds a frog. He lives in a zombie world. Everybody's supposed to be dead. He finds a frog that's alive and he wants to send it back to the living world. And I think he does. And that's kind of all there is to it.
Yeah, it's them being chased by the cops and using their stupid, shitty zombie powers in order to help them get away.
One guy drank a bunch of water that caused him to fart, that caused his fart to light on fire with some guy's head, and then he got super boosted.
And there was a water guy, and then there's the kid with the frog that kind of just sucks. I think that's his deal.
The main character sucked, yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Doorbell by Yoji Fukuyama. Now, this one felt like it had the potential to be good, and it just wasn't good. Like, if you jumped forward in time 14 or so years and saw Bunny Girl Senpai, you would be like, oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
They just needed to do it that way.
Yeah, I know. It starts off with like a boy, like he sees a little girl sees a boy and he has like a clone, and then it turns out that there's a copy of him.
Oh no!
Like he comes home and he's already there, and so everywhere he goes, there's already a version of him there, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, and people can't see him.
Yeah, and the whole time I was just like, "I've seen this. I've seen this. I watched Bunny Girl Senpai."
Yep.
And it was just poorly animated at points. There's times where like he's like walking or running, and like you see his feet kind of slide. And me and you were talking shit like, look how bad his feet are sliding. Yeah. And then
we're just like, you don't have to show the feet.
Just cut in, just fucking, do a fucking mid shot. And Trip's like, just zoom the camera in. How hard is that? I was just like,
and then it does like an extreme close up on something. It's like, that looks fucking
that looks
great.
Really good. Yeah. we're trying to dissect this fucking student film to be like, how are you gonna make it better?
Like, I'm just a piece of shit. I know how this works. I don't know.
Anyways, I feel like the resolution of this one is like he ends up he sees a girl that he
gets there first.
Yeah, and then he gets there first, and she's like, "Oh, I swear I saw two of you." He's like, "Shut up, bitch, you're crazy." Ha 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 ha. Something. It was supposed to be something deep about like there always being like an old version of him in the past. It was just, I don't know, it was lame. Lame. I didn't like it.
You know what wasn't lame?
The next one?
The next one called Limit Cycle by Hieki Futamura.
Which one's this? This is the really long one. This one sucked ass.
This was, man.
This was the worst. I hated this one the most.
There are people that you meet. Don't know exactly where in your life, but mine was high school.
Yeah, you know who you are.
And they think that they are just the best and smartest and most introspective person that's ever lived.
Yeah.
Right? They are the next philosopher, essentially. Oh, God. And
I'm just thinking about him.
Yeah. Him. Yeah. Okay.
He used to come to the taco truck all the time and order food, and I'd be like, "Dude, just shut the fuck up and order your food, man. I know you want a veggie burrito with black beans. Just leave me alone." And he'd be like, "Oh, do I want shrimp today? But what is shrimp?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
So fucking pretentious. It feels like somebody like that made an animation and somehow got a lot of people on board because this had a lot of really well drawn scenes. I don't know about well animated because it was just a lot of simple things laid on top of each other to be kind of confusing and interesting. Visually, it was all right.
Yeah, no, visually it was pretty stunning, but as a whole, as a concept, as like a short, it was the most boring, mind-numbing, just bullshit. It was just this guy babbling over and over about
and I like society. Some existential shit.
It was too much. It was like way too much, and they would just use all these words, and he would the dialogue was like so corny. Like he's like, it's like, are we? But is he? But who are we? And what's the point?
Talking about God and the endless cycle and how he just feels like he's stuck in this endless cycle of being a salaryman. And it just went on and on and on.
And then you think it's going to end. And then he just fucking keeps going.
Holy shit, dude.
And there's naked parts in it. There's like boobs and stuff. It's pretty cool. But that doesn't make up for the whole thing.
No. This was not an experience for me. Visually looked cool.
Yeah.
But man, it was not worth it in any capacity. It's one of the most obnoxious things I've seen since Handshakers.
I think I would send this to people as like, hey, fuck
check out this shit, man.
Yeah, but like just to be mean, but like, hey man, I think you'd really enjoy this. Like send it their way and they're like, why would you want to send me that? Just to be mean. It was bad.
There's nobody that you would do that to because nobody would actually watch it. If you're trying to be mean, they would know like Juan's being a dick.
I sent it to Eliza because she's so dumb. Eliza called me dumb the other day.
Were you dumb?
No. Okay, time out. I want to be really clear about this.
All right.
This was super uncalled for. Okay. Eliza, I know you're hearing.
All right.
I wake up. It's the weekend. Minding my own fucking business.
Yeah.
And I get a fucking text and it's just like, hey, your favorite K-pop band made a song about you. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's this band called Everglow. They're not my favorite. They're pretty okay. Okay. But their new song is called Dun Dun. D-U-N, D-U-N. I was like, huh. And I go, I think Eliza's messing with me. I'm not sure. So I decided to play it. It's okay. They're doing their stuff. I'm like, oh, this song's not that bad. This is pretty good. And then the chorus comes in and the chorus is like, why are you so dumb? Da dum dum dum. And I go, Eliza is fucking with me. She is teasing me. So then I text Eliza like, you're mean. Why would you do that to me? It's like, why would you wake me up like this? And Eliza's like, you maybe you shouldn't be so fucking dumb. I was like,
gotcha.
And I was like, Eliza, like for a second, I thought like you were.
I love Eliza.
Thought you were being, a nice person and sharing stuff.
She bullies you a little bit too much.
She, you know what? And the thing is, it's my fault for trusting her. So
I think it's your fault for bullying people.
No,
here's what I am going to say.
Eliza deserves it.
No. Here's what I'm going to say. You've gotten a lot sweeter.
Fuck Eliza, I hate her.
You've gotten a lot sweeter.
I like Brad a lot better.
Brad's a sweetheart. We all love Brad. But hey, man, you're a sweetheart and you don't deserve that.
I don't deserve that, Eliza. That was uncalled for. On the weekend? Why are you going to call you dumb on the weekend?
I feel like that could be like a song.
Song was pretty good, though.
Why you gotta call me dumb on the weekend? Yeah, that sounds...
All right, back to the thing.
Happy Machine by Masaaki Yuasa. All right, man. So this is the best one. This is the shining light
the one I like the
whole
most.
thing. And of course, it's the one that you like the most because we love Masaaki Yuasa's animation. He's got really unique ideas, but this one didn't do much for me.
It still wasn't that great, to be fair. Like
this was a solid 5 for me, man.
It's about a boy. It's about a little baby that
being carried by the animation.
It's about a little baby who realizes he's in some sort of like made up world. Like everything
It's
around
kinda
him, everything around him's automated. Like
he's in an automated nursery, some kind of a dystopian future that, or I guess post-apocalyptic future,
something
more so. Yeah.
And he realizes everything around him's fake, and he escapes to the outside world, and he starts traveling the world and meeting different things like birds and like fucking dogs or weird creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
little flame friend.
Yeah, a little
flamey mouth boy.
Yeah, he makes a fire friend. He
found some cool droplets to swim in.
Yeah, he does a lot of wild stuff. And time progresses, and eventually, he's an adult. Like he's just a really gruff man with a beard, and he's like,
yeah, he's a old baby,
and he's like stitched together. He has like body parts that
he looks like Finn from Adventure Time in those fucking future sequences or whatever.
Finn meets Deadpool, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then he finds himself like one of those, fucking nurseries, and he sees a baby in there, and he goes like, there's a slot for a body. I will go in there. And he goes in the slot, and the baby nursery thing starts running up again. It's just like, and it says to be continued, which I don't think it actually ever does get continued.
It doesn't matter.
It was
stupid.
I like the way it looked a lot, and that's probably and I like the director. So that's probably
it had
why
a
I
lot
liked
of
it.
like the cycles. It was a lot about cycles. Once again, going over from the last animation about like how you're stuck in this cycle. This was more so like life cycles and just rebirth and like how the circle of life like interacts with each other and whatnot. It was a lot more about that, as well as this fucking baby just fucking living and thriving somehow, even though he should be dead.
Also. This baby was the most capable baby I've ever seen in my entire life. This baby could like walk and swim, and like he was a fucking mutant baby.
Yeah, he was like 8 years old is kind of what it seemed like. Yeah. But anyways, the last one that we're talking about is called Baby Blue. It's directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. A lot of you know Watanabe from such works as Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop and Carole and Tuesday and Kids on the Slope. Anyways, Baby Blue was a weird one. It definitely had some Watanabe vibes going on, but it was not like it wasn't a shining star.
No, it wasn't a banger. It was like essentially about like, two childhood friends, and one of them was moving away, and
boy and girl.
Yeah. And the boy said, "Hey, I'm moving away. Let's skip class and let's just have one more, fun day together." And apparently he has this like plan to bury a grenade that they found when they were children. Again, one of the most absurd things in my head.
What's crazy about that, dude?
Do you have your grenades from childhood?
Tons.
It's ridiculous. But anyways,
buried them.
They're having a good time. Just going nowhere, doing nothing, just kind of being free, or whatever. Before he has to leave. And some wackiness ensues. Like they get fucking accosted by some fucking street toughs. Like some fucking I wanted to call them a biker gang. They're not. They're like car gangs. They have like these weird looking cars.
Yeah, they kind of look like greasers, man.
Yeah, but like it was these absurd looking vehicles. I was like, Anyways, he tries to kill them with his grenade.
Yeah,
like he throws their grenade at them, and then
successfully destroys their vehicles.
Yeah, and then he makes it to the beach, and they're at the beach and they're talking, and he's like, "Hey, I like you," blah blah blah.
Seems good.
And then she's just like, "I like someone else." He's just like, "Cool, I feel it, I understand."
Like, we haven't seen each other in a while, kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not, it's cool. It's for the best that I'm leaving. It'd be weird if you liked me and I stayed. So, and then he left, and then he's on the train. He sees her while he's going away on the train. He's like, "Oh, that's my friend," and that's kind of all there is to it. As a whole, I get it. Like, there's a story arc, right? Like, it does a very good like setup, climax, conclusion. Because a lot of these don't really have that, or if they do, they're really like not that great.
I feel like Watanabe wanted more room to breathe, and he didn't get it, so he didn't get to deliver the story in like the perfect way that he would have if he had more time. But he tried to do a short story, and I feel like he did it successfully. He had a full story there. Yeah, but
it would have been.
It wasn't great.
It would have been great if it was like more fleshed out and stuff. But that wasn't the point of it, right? Like, it's like here's your little snippet of this fucking moment in time, and have a good day.
Baby Blue.
I liked this one, but not like I didn't love it. It was fine. It was better than the fucking super pretentious computer one. Yeah. And it was better than the fucking clone one. It was better than fucking zombies ones. Genius Party was not a great time. It was a good time talking shit about it.
And it was also visually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it was visually compelling or good, but I was interested. Like, even the zombie one, we were very interested in what kind of weird fucking animation was going on, because it didn't look great. But style was popping. Like they had some personality, then the animation also gave it more personality, but it wasn't like it was a positive
thing. Yeah, absolutely. It was a thing where like we're sitting there and being like, we're open-minded to everything that's in front of us.
You kind of have to be when you go into a movie that you know nothing about.
Yeah, and then we're, all the animation that we see, all the styles that we're going through, like we're being pretty cool about it. And we're like, great. Traditionally, anime doesn't really look like this. Let's see what they have to offer, because I'm assuming the people who signed up to do this project were like, well, we want to experiment more. We don't want to just do a basic cookie cutter anime. And this is what they came up with. I don't think it was the best. I kind of feel like after watching it, it went to a short film festival.
Yeah, it felt like a little film fest.
You go to the short film festival, and you go
Spike's Shorts or whatever.
Yeah, and you
Spike and Mike.
You see maybe you'll see 20 or 30 things, and you go, cool. 3 of those were really good, and then a lot of those are really bad. Like here in Chico, we have Animate Chico. I think it's done in December, and he collects animations from around the world and stuff, and it's 4, 5, 6 hours of the whole day kind of thing. You sit there, and I would say I can name 5 of them where I'm just wow, those really impacted me like that. Those fucking hit. Those are really good. But I probably saw 35 of them that were just total fucking trash. And it's, just in my opinion, because, I'm assuming someone else liked one of those 35, and
sure,
so that's how it felt watching Genius Party. Cool. I kind of feel like I'm at a small film festival.
Yeah. And it feels like there's enough there to inspire, which I think is their goal, is to just kind of showcase some stuff that they've kind of got in their heads and maybe inspire some people.
Yeah. This is different. Do your thing. It's yeah, cool.
But this isn't necessarily a,
compelling watch.
Yeah, it's not a watch for entertainment thing. It's a watch to pay attention to weird shit kind of thing, right?
Maybe you feel if you're an artist, if you consider yourself an artist, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this is worth watching, and you just to expand or your horizons, or what I don't know, maybe you just need to see other people making art, because that's for sure what it felt like, more than as opposed to compelling stories.
Exactly. And you could be hey, I didn't like the way that this looked, but I did like the way that looked. I wonder how hard it is to do that, and then you find out you might be good at it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you think wow, people that animate like this, that don't focus on these extra things, they can really build something and make something that a lot of people are going to see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be able to do that if I change up a little bit of what I don't know, something might inspire.
I think the goal for this was to experiment and to inspire other people to create different things. But because of that, I feel cool, that's great. I think it might have achieved that if we weren't reviewing this for an entertainment fact, if we were here to be am I inspired now? Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. We're here did I enjoy my time?
Exactly. We're going in for a different focus.
Yeah, I enjoyed hanging out with you and be
it was a good hang session.
And be how was shit, how shit that is,
Which honestly we could have done with any Netflix movie. Yeah. So you don't need to.
Yeah. Which we probably will do next week.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Parasite, by the way. So next week we'll tell you about that. It won Oscar Best Picture, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it was Best Picture. I think it won two awards, but one was Best Picture.
Have you seen that picture of
kissing, making both Oscars? Yeah. What did I want to say? There's also what's it called? It's called a Genius Party Beyond, which is part 2 to this. It's just 4 shorts,
and they continue. No,
they don't continue. I did check to see if they're one of them did have continue for our guy, but it doesn't. They were made. I don't know if they were made the same, but they were released.
They were made 10 years later.
They were released a year apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it only okay? Amazon said 2016 on both of them, so I'm it's probably just 2016.
No,
on
I looked
one
up one. I think it was one was 2016, 2017 kind of thing. Or
I think it was 6 and 7.
6 and 7, yeah. But I'll say this. After watching this, I don't think I would go the extra mile to watch Beyond. It's available on Amazon if you want to rent or buy it. But we started with just Genius Party, and I don't think I'm gonna fuck with Genius Party Beyond.
No, it just wasn't. If I was in a totally different mood watching the first one, if I had a different perspective going into it, maybe I would want to watch the second one. But I'm just looking for a good time with my bros,
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah,
cool, man. That's it. That's the show, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually we do is we say, hey, man, go to cherrytops.com and check out, our dope-ass artists. Little did we know, our dope ass artist no longer has that domain. Like, I don't know where she is. I can't find her.
I check out that stuff every once in a while, and I guess it's been a little while.
It's been a little while, man.
Yeah.
So anyways, if you like our art, check out cherrytops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. If you want to tweet at us, tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast Benefit.
And you can shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. I will be streaming Thursday at 2. I'm going to play The Witness.
Ooh.
I've decided I want to give it a set time.
The Witness.
It's just going to be a really chill time. I've played it, done a lot of puzzles. It's a puzzle game. It's very atmospheric. It's very chill. And I just feel like having a chill little time. 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See some of you there.
Cool.
Links in the description.
I wanted to say, we did announce who won the Weathering with You posters earlier this week or last week.
And holy shit, was I like, Juan couldn't even bother. Juan didn't even get off of his goddamn video game.
I was playing a video game. I was in the middle of a video game match. I picked the numbers. I picked the things. I think 3 people claimed them. 1 person didn't. So we try to get back, get to them.
We're figuring it out.
We might have to pull a 4th one.
So congratulations, winners who won the Weathering with You posters.
And then I think the last thing I want to say, I think it was Kate's birthday, wasn't it, recently?
Was it?
I think so.
Was it?
I think so. Happy birthday, Kate.
Not yet.
No one.
Happy birthday, Kate. We love you.
Yeah. I don't know how old you are. Maybe like 100, maybe 300. I think she's 30.
Yeah. If you divided 100 by 300, you would get 30. Yeah.
That's how old she is?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think that's right.
It's not, but the math checks out in my heart, so we're all good.
Yeah, Kate, hope you have a good birthday. I know she cut her hair. Your hair looks nice, Kate.
She looks beautiful.
Yeah.
She's nailing it. She got My Chemical Romance tickets. Didn't think she would get to.
Lucky.
I know nobody cares about this, but
Kate might appreciate it.
Big shout outs to Kate.
Shout outs to Kate.
Big shout outs to Abe and Brittany for organizing her My Chemical Romance birthday showdown.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so this is back from Juan.
See you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Happy birthday.